Like many special schools, Portland School in Sunderland faces severe staff recruitment problems. Experienced teachers are retiring or leaving, and newly trained teachers lack the specialist skills. The answer for Portland has been to introduce a comprehensive in-house training scheme, converting its own teachers into trainers. It's not easy, but it is effective.
It's expensive, it's time-consuming, it takes teachers and teaching assistants out of the classroom. But again, the long-term benefits of that are that we don't have to fork out huge sums of money to maintain the training and the qualifications that the bulk of our staff need to have.
Right, tonight we're just going to look at 3 different areas of the Team Teach course that we last did.
The training is split broadly in 2. There's a programme for mainstream teachers making the switch to special schools, like Judith Knox, who's had 8 years mainstream teaching experience but has been at Portland for just a week.
My first impression is how really different it is. It's just so much about it is different. Just the way that the day is structured, the fact that I don't have a daily literacy and numeracy lesson, that's been quite difficult getting used to after, 8 years of doing that. And also, it's not so curriculum driven because of the needs of the children.
Lewis.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
6. No,
7,
forget it.
8, 9, 10.
And longer-serving staff are constantly refreshed with a series of training initiatives.
And if everybody can start walking clockwise, and I'll walk the other way so that you can see me. And I'm going to say change in a few minutes, which means we simply change direction. So change. Walk the other way.
Judith's the parent of a child at Portland, but even with day-to-day experience of the school, she was surprised at the range of skills a teacher requires.
Even though I'm a parent, it still hasn't really prepared me for, for what I've actually experienced since I started, because for one thing, there are so many different conditions, so many children with diagnoses that I've never heard of before. And of course, as with other children, no one child is the same. Plus, they've all got these extra needs and behaviours that I haven't come across before.
If Curtis pushes you under the water, would you like that? No. And how could you get Curtis off your back?
A crucial part of Judith's induction is the appointment of a mentor, the assistant head Finton Clark, and a programme of lesson observations and feedback sessions.
Judith has skills and attributes that I want to have. I wouldn't be able to go into a Year 6 class in a primary school and teach. So therefore we can't expect Judith to be able to do it in Portland initially. Now, this induction process, it can be stressful, but we aim to make it as stressless and as positive as we can within Portland. And I think we have to remember that what we try to do is to allow our new teachers to enjoy being with the children first. So the enjoyment creates the learning atmosphere. So we want you to be secure enough with us to be able to make mistakes, but learn from them and move on. That's what we see as the crux of the whole process. It's all based on enjoyment. You enjoy it, the children enjoy being with you, they learn and they move forward.
What's after 5, Sarah?
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Lovely. The purpose of the exercise this morning was for Judith to see the level of attainment that the children can work at. There are a number of children within that group that the lesson this morning was too easy. But one of Judith's focuses was to see the level of the child. She now has a picture of where to aim the next lesson.
Can you roll the dice first?
1, 2, 3,
Do you think that we attained the objectives of the lesson for the children?
Yes, yes I do. I think certainly that they can count up to 10 was something that I would say most of them were able to do. But I think the other one was counting objects up to 10. Yeah. I think there was one or two of the children that I noticed as I was sitting observing still need a little bit more practice with that. But that was exactly what I wanted to find out, so it was very useful. Finton had offered to teach the lesson for me. And I think because I've come from mainstream and I'm at a stage where, I'm trying to get a handle on where the children are, what they know and what they don't know. And because it is so different to what I've been used to, I jumped at the chance really of watching an experienced teacher teach a lesson so that I could just see how it was done, because it is so different.
9, 10, 11.
Where were you supposed to stop, Michael? I think if we keep lessons moving along at that pace, and you can't do it at that pace with all children, so you have to know your child to see what pace you can go at. If you keep lessons moving along, you lessen the risk of behaviour. It
was very animated. There was a lot of getting up and doing things and waving hands about, things like that, which, I know that does go on in some mainstream classrooms, but it has to be done all the time here because the children need to be kept engaged. Some of them will only have an attention span maybe of 5 minutes.
Next, you have to count, you have to look at it yourself.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
4, I don't want 4, I want
5.
So it must be the next one along.
We're going to get the break time.
In-service training is held most weeks at Portland. Some is on an individual basis, like Judith's induction, and others are on a group basis, taking in both new teachers and more experienced staff who benefit from refresher training.
With the teaching staff, the more established teaching staff as well, we look at the place that they're at. In school, it's a dynamic situation. We get external initiatives that we need to respond to, which staff need to be trained in. But also within school, we've recently appointed 3 members of staff from the sort of teaching position to a middle management position. And that involves a change of role, a change of perspective. And we can't just assume that because we've simply appointed them, that they're then going to have these new skills without any great understanding. So we've looked at giving them a great deal of support.
Today, the entire staff are taking part in a behaviour management session, illustrated by a bottle of fizzy drink, which has been shaken up.
Steve and I have both worked in an environment where we've seen people fizzed up like that. And at the end of the day, some members of staff have come in and said, right, well, let's make him blow. Because once he's blown, finished, he'll be okay after that. Good idea or a bad idea? It's a bad idea, isn't it, Val? Because what's he doing? I mean, what are you teaching him there? You're not teaching him anything else, you're just suppressing the behaviour. You might just decide that you're going to just undo this a little bit at a time. Because you can't just rush, can you? Because if you rushed, what would happen? It would bubble over. I would still like that opening though, please. I would still like you to open it without spilling, releasing the pressure slowly. And well done there, Vanessa!
The neat trick at Portland has been to turn teachers into trainers. Teachers Grant and Steve take lead roles, and the school has spent £2,500 turning them into trainers. One 2-day course alone, if bought in from an external supplier, could cost £4,000. And refresher courses over 2 years for the whole staff would cost something over £7,000 if it was bought in. Grant and Steve can handle all these requirements. The maths clearly stacks up.
Take staff, those who are wanting to, and put them onto courses where they themselves gain qualifications and the training to actually then deliver to other people within the authority or within school. We've done that with a variety of things, including things like Team Teach, pivots, nurturing courses, so that we have got qualified staff.
Another of the things that we kind of looked at was the bee-butts, and I'm just wondering, has anybody had the chance to kind of do anything with those?
I've used those.
You have you?
A couple of times now, and they are fantastic. But I don't think the students that I've got have ever used them before, so we just put them in the middle of the table, asked them to make that move, so they were actually just, you know, pressing all the buttons and eventually worked it out for themselves, and they love it, absolutely love it. The only problem was, though, they didn't seem to grasp the concept of the arrow pointing which direction. So what we had to do, a bit of an adaptation, we made big arrows that we put around the yard and the kids followed the arrows.
The benefits of putting people through those courses and supporting them means that school itself will gain from it, because they then can come back and without the external fees train groups of staff within school so that they too can have those skills.
Other CPD requirements can be looked after by senior staff. Deputy Head Martin Wright plays a big part in mentoring new and existing staff.
But from what you've done so far, it looks, you know, excellent. I think you've really embraced it and got involved with it. From the outline that we've looked at so far and from the energy that you put into it, I'm sure it will really, really help with the department as well.
I just think that if I hadn't had the support that I've had, yes, I would be enthusiastic and wanting to sort of improve my professional development and make me the best teacher that I can be, but it would have been extremely hard if I hadn't had the support from all the staff that, you know, that have supported me through the years. It wouldn't have been possible. You can't do it on your own. It's a team effort.
Portland clearly has an impressive framework to support its staff and compensate for perceived inadequacies in special school staff training and recruitment. But it's not been achieved easily.
I mean, I suppose the reality is it's very difficult to do. I, perhaps because my numbers are higher, have got better capacity, more capacity than some smaller schools. I've also got a governing body that are very keen to support what I'm trying to do. However, we've used Standards Fund, we've used main school budget, we've used the commitment of those staff who are already here and who wanted to go on. Our local authority have been very keen to support us. It's a huge cost to school. However, for this school to continue to be successful, it's a cost that we have to bear, and it's one that I hope we will reap the benefits of in years to come.
Well, from the point of view of the school's mission statement, which is to value, to respect and to promote optimum learning, those aren't the values just of what we give to the students, that's about the staff as well. It is so important that you know that you are being supported, because if you're being supported, it's almost like you're not going to fail.